Hi, welcome back to What's Happening Around New Orleans. My name is Patty McCarty, and I'm back here with my boat and Warren Rockwell, and he's going to show you what we've done in part 2 of this series, Extending the Aluminum Boat.
But first, let's get a quick look at what the aluminum boat looked like before it was extended.
In part one, we had Patty's boat, and she brought it to me, and we looked at the boat, and I noticed that this extension coming off the boat made the boat rear end heavy. So whenever she went to go take off with a boat, the boat wouldn't plane out quick enough, and it was always seemed like it was dangerous. It sat too low in the water. So I told her, I said, the best thing to do, and there's two ways of doing this that most people today are to try and get some kind of buoyancy. They're just adding little air boxes on, and they're just small. They one on each side of the motor. And that's good. It kind of helps some, but to get the most buoyancy that you can get, you need to get the whole boat. So because she had this bracket on there, now this is the difference about this particular boat now. If this motor was mounted to the transom, then you really can't do what we did here for her boat. But because she had this offset, if you noticed, we were able, if Patty wants to come around, we were able to completely extend the stern of the boat all the way to the back of the bracket, to where now the boat in the bottom has maximum buoyancy, and that it'll hold up a lot more. So now when she goes to take off, instead of just having two little boxes here with all this missing, now that this is all here, when that boat's going to have something to push down on and be able to pick it back up. So we went ahead and extended the whole stern of the boat to the back of the bracket. You can also use it for a swim platform if you want to jump off your boat, come up to the water, since it's a lot lower, climbing up into your boat. That's another feature that it helps with. But she's going to notice an extensive difference in her boat now that we extended this back on. Okay. If you have an issue with your boat sitting too low in the water in the stern, and your motor's mounted to the stern, the actual transom of the boat that don't have an offset bracket, the only thing that you're going to be able to do is put the air pontoons on. But whoever puts them on for you, you want them to put them as big as you possibly can. Now, not big as far as tall, but as far as offset back and as wide to get surface on the bottom. Because if the boat draws 6 inches of water, but you make them all the way to the top, you're not getting no more buoyancy. Now, if you come stand back here, of course it will, because the boat gets more air in it than pontoons, and they won't sink. But the maximum use for them is to try and get them just right above the water line, and they will make a big old difference in your boat. A lot of people put them on tunnel holes, because when you cut the tunnel out in the bottom of the boat, this adds a little more buoyancy back to it. But if you just got a plain boat, now she's got an 18-foot boat with this big 115 4-stroke offset off the back. That's what's giving her the issues. So I'm pretty sure that she's going to see a major difference when she goes to take off. It's going to plane off quicker. And then when she shuts the throttle back, the boat should not draw as much water. I'm not saying that it's all of a sudden you're going to go from drawing 8 inches of water to 2 inches. No, but she will pick up some buoyancy there. And if you can find somebody that can, is a good fabricator and a good enough welder that they can weld something up that's airtight, this will work. This will work for you.
So it goes all the way across the bottom, and you put me another drain hole right there.
Correct. That drain, now it's all you got to do, Patty, is just put a drain plug in that plug. Now, were you using a screw-in plug that you had to thread because you had it threaded? The
Yes.
other one?
I didn't have it threaded intentionally. Yeah, your brother had intentionally
I
had
know,
it
but
threaded.
what were you threading in it?
Oh, PVC piece of plastic.
Oh, okay. Because this right here is just a 1-inch flip-up drain plug that
Okay.
I put you here. You can buy them at any marine store. They got the ones that they got the little T-handle. You put in there and you tighten the T-handle and it expands the rubber. Or this one here, it'll work with the one with the flip-up plug in it. If you put just the air pontoons on, well, then you don't need to worry about this. But if you extend the actual transom, the whole boat back, you do
Okay.
have to put another drain plug in. And we just put this transducer bracket on there that now she can mount the transducer to here instead of mounting it directly and causing it to leak. Because if water leaks in here, you lose your buoyancy. And that's about it. But every time you come home, you pull your drain plug. If there's no water comes out of here, then you know this thing isn't leaking. Now, when you go to wash your boat out, don't worry about it. It's all going to drain through the boat, through here, and drain out through there. So you just shouldn't have any issues. But while you're in the water, when you launch your boat, you really don't want any water to get in these pontoons. So they should have to be welded up airtight. And that's the secret to all of this. That air tightness is causing pressure to where the boat can't sink. Because if they fill up with water, they do no good.
I think it looks beautiful.
Yeah,
You do a great job.
it came out pretty nice. We put the diamond deck on top. That's just a non-skid surface that you got where you know if you step from the dock or you step from your boat off, you won't slip. But you don't really need that. That's just something that I put on there just to try and make it look better and to give you a better job.
Oh, I appreciate it. It looks really nice.
Yeah.
Now, what were you trying to tell me about the porpoising if I bring the boat into the water and...
This particular motor, what I noticed that the angle on your bracket here is not much of an angle, so you don't have a lot of negative trim. So they make transom wedges. You can look online and you can Google transom wedges, and they're a cast aluminum. They're about this wide, and they like 1 inch thick up at the top, and they go down. They're like a wedge. And when you pull your motor off, they fit the same bolt pattern as your motor is, and you put them on behind there. And what it does is it leans the boat back more. That way you get more negative trim. So where if you do need negative trim, what negative trim does for you, it helps the motor pick the back of the boat up and push the front down.
Okay.
For a boat that won't come down in the front, it's because it's trimmed either out too far, or whoever built the boat or made the transom too straight up and down.
Okay.
I kind of like to keep my transoms like 18 degrees. Inboard motors, they normally at 13 degrees, but that's because the motor's all in the boat. With an outboard, with it being outside the boat, you want your transoms, if you're a boat builder or anything and you're trying to learn something about it, you want to keep your transom at a minimum of about 18 degrees, especially on a small boat. Now, big old boat, you want just the opposite. You want more positive trim, because if you get a big 26-foot boat, you have no problems with taking off in that boat laying down because of the leverage that the boat has on the motor. But since you got a short boat, then it don't have that leverage, the weight of the boat to pull it down. That's when you need more negative trim. So something to think about and learn about your boat if you're going through your mind trying to figure out, why is my boat doing this?
Okay.
So that's about it.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate everything you've done, Warren.
Well, you're welcome.
And again, Warren is located in Chalmette.
Chalmette. If you just Google my name, that's all you got to do. Google Warren Rockwell and you'll find me, I promise you. My cell phone number is on the internet.
Okay.
I didn't want to get. I don't want a ton of people. I mean, I don't mind people calling me and asking me questions and that. I'll be more than answer any questions that you have. So just
So-
Google my name.
One last thought. Do you think this solves the problem of having to move the gas tank up front, or I might still have to do that?
We don't know yet, but she does have her gas tank mounted against her transom underneath this boat. Now she's got a 24-gallon tank. Gas, I think, is like 7 point something pounds per gallon. So if you got 20-gallon tank, you're looking at about 140 something pounds. It'd be like a 140 something pound person standing right here.
Yeah.
That will help you later on. If I'm almost positive this is going to solve your issue as far as your boat planing out quick. Because before you were saying when you went to go take off, your boat would just stand up and ride for a ways until the bow came down. And
Right.
then when you went to go trim out, the boat wants to porpoise real quick. That's because I believe you got no negative trim and there was no boat right up against the motor. Now
Right.
your bottom of your boat is extended all the way to your motor now. You don't have an offset. And I think that should completely solve your problems.
Perfect.
You're going to find out this is going to work great.
Okay. Thank you again, Warren. I
You're
appreciate everything.
Okay, great.